Have you ever wondered about how a broken telegraph line, but what engineers found deep down changed everything forever, really? They wanted to send instant messages across the vast Atlantic. The heavy copper line snapped, sinking into the freezing dark. Messages turned into garbled static, baffling the smartest minds then. They realized the insulation was leaking current into the salt. Suddenly, London could talk to New York in mere minutes. It is funny how sea creatures loved chewing our cables. These same roots now carry every single byte of data. That detail becomes important later. Extreme macro close-up of jagged metal snapping under crushing pressure. Engineers stared into the abyss, knowing their signal was gone. They wrapped copper in gutta percha to stop the saltwater short. A complex diagram shows the cable layers protecting the core. Miles of heavy cable coiled dangerously on the wooden deck. Electricity struggled to travel through thousands of miles of wire. Jagged underwater mountains tore through the fragile, expensive cable insulation. A rusted, barnacle-covered segment of the original failed cable remains. Investors lost fortunes as the cables snapped in the deep. They had to rethink everything before trying the ocean again. A single snapped cable line stopped the entire global communication. Victorian engineers scrambled to repair links across the dark abyss. Crushing water pressure destroyed every early attempt at reliable insulation. They found a strange tropical sap that finally resisted water. Ships loaded with thousands of miles of heavy armored cable. Electricity struggled to travel across such vast, cold distances underwater. Operators clicked keys, hoping the signal would reach the shore. It is like trying to thread a needle inside a hurricane. Finally, a faint pulse arrived on the opposite continent's shore. This tiny spark laid the foundation for our modern internet. Extreme pressure at the seabed crushed early telegraph cable insulation. Nature provided a sticky tree resin to seal those wires. Engineers finally managed to stretch copper across the vast Atlantic. Look closely at the layered armor protecting these delicate cores. Fading signals meant messages arrived as slow, garbled electronic echoes. One brilliant mathematician invented a mirror to catch faint flashes. Communication speed jumped from weeks to mere minutes for merchants. Huge iron ships became giant spools for laying heavy cables. These broken lines eventually formed the backbone of our world. A snapped cable left the world waiting in total silence. Engineers raced to build a line stronger than the ocean. The pressure down there could crush a human like paper. They used tree sap to insulate these vital copper wires. Long distances made the electric signals fade into nothingness fast. They finally invented a mirror galvanometer to catch weak signals. News that took weeks arrived in mere seconds across oceans. Imagine the entire world's knowledge fitting inside this thin strand. This laid the very path for your internet connection today. A single snapped cable once silenced communication between two continents. Engineers realized that deep ocean pressure crushed every fragile connection. They discovered rubber sap from trees could finally seal wires. This insulation allowed signals to travel thousands of miles underwater. Suddenly, messages that took weeks now arrived in mere minutes. Hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get updates. Your streaming video travels through these dark, cold ocean depths. It is surprisingly smaller than a garden hose, yet powerful. We built a global nervous system out of simple wire. Extreme low-angle view shows light pulsing through glass fibers. Pulses of light carry petabytes across the vast ocean floor. These cables create the backbone of our entire global network. Steel armor protects these fragile fibers from crushing deep pressure. Repeaters amplify light signals, keeping data moving without any lag. We finally bridged the gap, linking every continent with light. Your daily scrolls rely on this hidden, fragile underwater web. The fiber inside is thinner than your own human hair. Yet when these lines snap, the entire world goes dark. Extreme macro close-up of copper wire strands under ocean pressure. Engineers dropped thousands of miles of wire into dark abysses. Pressure and salt water snapped the lines, forcing constant repairs. They wrapped copper in gutta percha to stop the signal leakage. Messages that took months now traveled in mere seconds worldwide. Today, glass fibers carry light pulses instead of electrical sparks. Your internet relies on these fragile wires resting on seafloors. Compare a human hair to the vastness of oceanic networks. The evidence points to a much deeper story.